Stepping right into the Dream Team podcast. I am your host of tonight, Showtime Sports Cards, aka Caleb, joined by Neil, Doughboy Sports Cards 1, and Dylan from Alpha Bets. Today's podcast is brought to you by Kings of Nitro Clothing. Follow them on Instagram at the Kings of Nitro. So, boys, little background real quick. We just wanted to, talk about some sports. We all grew up together. We love sports cards. We've been playing sports, dealing sports, watching sports our entire lives, and finally just wanted to talk some shit. So here we are.
Fucking A.
That's right.
So let's start off, let's recap kind of like the sports weekend of kind of what we saw. Let's start with the NBA playoffs. We had a lot of playoff games over the weekend. We saw Milwaukee destroy and run through Miami. It was 0-4 series. They did not want to play with their food, is what Giannis said. So kind of what were you seeing during the NBA playoffs and like what caught your eye from anybody or anything out there?
Neil, you say whoever.
Well, from the start, I like.
You're not allowed to mention LeBron.
Oh, it'll get in there. Don't worry. No, I in all honesty, probably the biggest series that I was interested in outside of the Lakers was watching the Bucks play the Heat. I thought that was a huge revenge series for Giannis. He went down, I think, in game 1 or game 2 last year in the bubble. And that team was never the same since. But adding Drew Holiday this year, people kind of wrote them off going into the playoffs, going in and playing against the Heat the first round. But with that team healthy, I think they wanted it more. They felt like they just came in and they played well. So I was happy. I was happy to see it. Giannis 2-time MVP back to back. He deserves to get a little credit, and he earned credit in my book by taking out the Heat in 4. So I'm excited to see them play what would be the Nets next series. I think matchup wise, defensively they can hold the Nets, but I mean they still got to put up points. They're going to have to score 120 points to win the game. It's just how well you can contain the big three for the Nets, and I hope kind of moving forward they get a chance.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised not that they won, but I figured 6 games. I mean, after last year,
yeah,
I wouldn't have been surprised if the Heat would have won.
Yeah.
I think had they won game 1, it might have been different, but to lose game 1 in overtime and never really bounce back, the Heat, that doesn't really blow me away. The Trailblazers are probably the biggest surprise for me. I
told a lot of my buddies around here, I was like,
Trailblazers, but Lillard's getting more support probably than he has in the past in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the fact that that's
last year they came in as what were they, the 8th seed, and they came in. They hadn't played all year together. I mean, everybody was injured, and it wasn't that first game. Jerkic was back. CJ McCollum was somewhat back, and Lillard was back, and they looked great. And I mean, they're a good team. I actually picked them to beat the Nuggets in the first round, and I picked the Clippers to lose to the Mavs too. I just thought revenge series for the Clippers, and I thought upsets were kind of be the thing this year. But I mean, we'll see. We still got a long way to go for some of these series.
Well, you look
I'm all nervous for the Mavs now. I mean, obviously, I got some Mavs gear on, but I don't know that going down, they went up 2-0, and then to give them right back
at home. That's what I was surprised
doesn't bode well for. I don't think the Mavs, especially KP's not playing like he was last year when they were kind of peak Mavs. Chaos. Luka hitting buzzer beaters and shit that.
Luka is playing like he wants to win something.
Yeah.
Like that kid, he shows no fear.
Let's go.
He just doesn't have another Luka like, Paul George has, Kawhi. I mean, there's nobody else walking through.
I've never seen someone talk so much trash to Kawhi and the rest of those that Clippers team. I love it. I love it.
Especially Patrick Beverley.
I think the biggest takeaway from playoffs so far isn't just the games and the people that that are playing well. It's fans dumping popcorn on people. They're fans getting arrested for throwing
water
bottles.
bottles.
What I don't understand is, I've been a season ticket holder for professional sports teams my entire life, and it's like, just because you get to go into the game doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want. You look at the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're the reason why teams can't, or stadiums can't have bottle caps open anymore, because you chuck those onto the field.
I don't think the Eagles helped that either. They're throwing snowballs at Santa Claus, man.
It's like, you think you're safe. Let's say the Malice in the Palace. Like, a real person would go up and go full Ron Artest. That's why you don't get to do or say whatever you want to a professional athlete. Like, you pay for the experience, you pay for the entertainment. You can say whatever you want, but you can't do anything physical. If someone's dumping popcorn on you or chucking a bottle at you, you reserve all right to go in the stands.
I'm good with the popcorn.
I agree.
I'm good with the popcorn, the water bottle, and spitting at Trae Young is probably, it's too much for me.
Well, I'm not scared of Trae Young. I mean, his receding hairline is just, it does not bother me at all. Like, that guy doesn't scare me at all. But at an NFL game, I can't imagine throwing a bottle cap or a beer at like Myles Garrett.
Or did you see the video of Marcus?
He's throwing a helmet. If you do,
he'd start hitting me with a helmet.
Or Marcus Peters went up in the stands and confronted a fan who was yelling at him on the sidelines. Like,
or you're LeGarrette Blount and you just walk up and punch the Boise State guy in the fucking face.
Oh, right in the mouth. Well deserved. Like, if you're about that life, then be about that life. Like, yeah, that's what I took away from this weekend, because it's like, the games are the games, but the stories of the weekend were more of fans getting thrown out and arrested than anything else.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Which is a shame, because you just got fans back, and now you're
going to take away the privilege because they can't control themselves.
Yeah. So let's get off the NBA now. Let's head over to the NFL. Not much NFL news going around. Obviously, the two biggest names are Julio Jones, not thinking he was live during the phone call or being recorded, and obviously the Aaron Rodgers situation. You got a lot of cap space, and you got a lot of cap money coming up here soon. So first question to both of you, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to be in Green Bay next year, yes or no? I'll start with Dylan on this one.
Well, hopefully he just retires and falls off the face of the earth. But no, I mean, he's going to play in Green Bay. I don't see anywhere else. I mean, tomorrow is the true date, I think, that we'll know, June 1st being when everything kind of shifts and teams can really make something happen. But I don't see Aaron Rodgers being anywhere else. And if we're all lucky, he goes away sooner rather than later. Not a fan. He's a hell of a player, but not a fan.
Neil, what do you think?
If Aaron Rodgers sticks to Jeopardy, I think that's probably best for his career, because it's not like he's going to go and win anything anywhere else. I mean, his record in the playoffs speaks for itself. I mean, he's like Peyton Manning. I know that hurts you, Caleb, but he's like Peyton Manning in the playoffs. He just can't get the job done when it counts.
I mean,
what was it? Tom Brady's got as many NFC championships as Aaron Rodgers. He played 1 year,
which is phenomenal.
That's enough said.
It's terrific.
Like, Aaron Rodgers just needs to ride off in the sunset, take his $40 million from Jeopardy, and just go have fun on the beach. I could care less seeing him in the league anymore.
I would agree. I think Aaron Rodgers, you have the last year blow up because I think he was really motivated because of the Jordan Love draft pick. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, he got butthurt because Green Bay didn't tell him that they were going to draft him.
You don't think so?
As a professional athlete, I have to, not myself, but I have to trust that they're a little bit more mentally
tough.
Dylan,
you are the furthest thing from a professional athlete.
That's not true. Hey, I mean, there's some pretty big guys that are on that stage for that Nathan hot dog eating contest. And he's
Okay.
no
All
pros.
right.
No
Get
pros.
that one.
We got gamers we call pro athletes now. I mean, fit in the bill.
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
point.
Oh, geez. Don't even get me started on that.
No, I mean, as much as I don't like Aaron Rodgers, I can't think that, especially if he watched any Jordan Love tape, he would think that man's taking his job because
That's another thing. Why get so butthurt over Jordan Love, like a rookie quarterback? You really scared of are you really scared of your job to
we're
Jordan
talking
Love?
about Utah State.
No, but he's not scared of his job getting taken away. He's scared of, hey, I was one receiver away from going to the Super Bowl. Like, get me some help.
What do you mean help? He's got two.
You're gonna
two
count on
All-Pro. No.
They got bums.
He's got two All-Pro offensive linemen. He has a tight end who had the most touchdowns in the NFL. He has a top 5 running back in the NFL, and he has Devontae Adams. What else do you want? Like, my Rams don't even have that much.
Ebron caught like 12 touchdowns a couple years ago. The touchdowns aren't the end all be all.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they were. I mean, at least someone was catching the ball other than Devontae Adams.
But isn't Devontae Adams hurt half the year anyway?
It doesn't matter.
He was last year.
Okay, so who you throw in there? Alan Lazard.
Okay, it doesn't. You can lose 2 or 3 games in the
was-
NFL, especially when you're
for-
playing against the Bears and the Lions.
If it wasn't for my boy from Indiana State, Robert Big Bob Tonyan, catching 11 touchdowns, should have went to the Pro Bowl.
Criminal.
The Packers would not be anything this past season.
Well, they weren't anything. They didn't win anything. They won 1 playoff game.
Yeah, but Aaron became the MVP.
I didn't know we were clapping up participation trophies now. Like,
he
that's
did
today's world, though.
oh, jeez.
So besides Aaron Rodgers' stories that's, blowing up the internet, one story that I thought was way out there, but yet still very entertaining to listen to was Tennessee Titans cornerback Janarius Jenkins had his Rolls-Royce Wraith stolen from an airport parking lot. All right, 2 questions. One, why are you parking it in probably long-term parking at the airport? And 2, if you're a current NFL cornerback, why are you driving a 2016 Rolls-Royce Wraith? Let's be honest, that's probably a
his contract money's running out. He's saying he's not making.
You got to give him props for not. That's money management at its finest in the NFL. 2016.
He didn't get the new one. Come on, dude. Give him a little bit of credit.
Come on.
He's got to save. He's got. He's got bills to pay, Caleb. He's not gonna have a contract.
Yeah, he's got babies he's got to take care of.
You gotta sell off that Rolls Royce right then.
That's right. You need to downgrade.
So we also had some tryouts, some free agent guys looking. So Neil, your former running back for the Rams, Todd Gurley, was up in Detroit working out. If he were to sign with
the
them,
running backs go to die.
That's
right.
100%
That's Adrian
true.
Peterson.
So if he were to re-sign, he'd be back with Jared Goff and then put in with another Georgia standout, DeAndre Swift. So do you think Todd Gurley can still play in the NFL? And
not a chance.
Okay, so
there's a reason why we got rid of him.
Do you think Detroit should take a shot at him? Though?
No, he's gonna need a knee replacement halfway through the season.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'll call him up. I'll let him hang out.
You have Najee Harris.
Yeah, but you also
got you got somebody he can learn from. He had been shown to be one of the best. He was fine in Atlanta last year doing his little goal line action. How many touchdowns did he have?
Oh my god, he's just so inconsistent now. It's just
don't draft him in fantasy, because he's gonna be in, be out, be in, be out. I mean,
I just feel like if you're gonna pay someone money, there's more stability in some other players. Like, go sign Frank Gore. Like, he's been in the league.
Frank Gore's still out there. He's just catching yards to keep going up in the record books. I mean,
yeah. Speaking of Memorial Day, someone needs to honor that guy.
Frank Gore.
His service to the NFL is unmatched.
Adam Vinatieri retired. Greatest kicker of all time? Yes or no?
Yeah.
I think if he gets to the Hall of Fame, he'll be one of the And he be like the only person to just straight kick and be in the Hall of Fame? Like,
Didn't Morton Anderson, wasn't he just straight kicker?
I think Morton was.
I know it's not a popular thing, but I mean, all-time leader in points, when you think about it and you think about the NBA, like when you're the all-time leader in literally scoring, and I think it was Pat McAfee was talking about that, and he's like, when you put that into perspective, when your whole point is to score and have the highest score, and Adam Vinatieri has done the most of it, that's pretty incredible.
For sure.
Yeah, he beat my Rams and won a Super Bowl, so I mean, hats off to him. So
Heartbreak.
I gotta respect that.
So the Cowboys hired former Giants head coach Ben McAdoo as a consultant. One, why does Ben McAdoo still have a job? And what are the Cowboys seeing in him that doesn't think that he's going to wreck any more of the Cowboys than they already do themselves?
Probably
Look
the same
Ben
thing they
McAdoo
saw
did
with
for the
Mike
Giants.
McCarthy.
They want them inside secrets. If they let
Yeah.
McAdoo have any. Like,
So you can
he
be
was
a
getting the
fighter
fake
ball club.
game plan as they were playing. You know what I mean? McAdoo's like got squares and triangles on his play sheet, and the other guy's just calling it. You know what I mean? So
By that you mean the Madden playbook, and he was just
Yeah.
pressing square and triangle, picking his place.
they're
Okay.
a mess. The Cowboys are always a mess.
That's true. Do you think they'll be any better this year?
God no. God no. Who the hell pays Dak Prescott $40 million? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Hey, I'm gonna say this. Hot take right now.
Oh,
Dak
boy.
Prescott
Oh, God.
MVP.
Jesus
MVP.
Christ. What are the I want some
MVP.
odds on that. I would need 30-1. And I bet it's at that.
30. Well, then put $100 on it
Hey,
and make
if
your money.
he's going to be MVP, you better start buying them rookie autos real quick.
Yeah, I probably should. I think he's.
Oh,
I
man.
really listen. Coming back a year from injury, people just think what they do every year with Cowboys. They're just going to be mediocre. But the problem is, like, the Cowboys always have a top offensive line. They have Zeke. They can run the ball, and they have a good wide receiving core now.
That line's falling apart now. I mean, last year they had, retirement health. I mean,
Yeah, but
a little bit of issues. But it also took them 5 years to draft that line, and then it was, incredible. So
yeah. But
They
go back and look at Dak's numbers before he got injured. I mean, he was going to set some records last year.
yeah, Caleb, you got a hot take? While we're on NFL hot takes, I'm sure I could probably pick one up.
Oh, NFL.
I
hot
just
take,
I
Yeah,
I,
I
I, I,
know
Dak
you have
Prescott.
one.
Cowboys.
Or a hot take MVP. I'm sure I could probably cook one up here.
Carson Wentz.
Oh, jeez. God.
See, now I would bet on that. I wouldn't bet on
So
that.
I was so close to pulling the trigger, and we can get into this when we get to the card points. But like Carson Wentz, if you got into select silvers or rookie autos, it's a bet I'm willing to take. You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so with that running
No.
game? And he doesn't have to sit back and throw the ball at all. He can just give it to the three running backs that are back there.
Well, you have
Naheem
three
Hines?
running backs, but you only have one that's healthy each week.
That's fine. That's fine. That Jonathan Taylor kid is a tank. You can't touch.
Yeah, when he
Naheem
decides he
Hines.
wants to play well, he had to get benched just to be able to get some starting reps.
That's fine. And Marlon
he
Mack,
got benched so that way he'd be like, "Oh, I should probably try now."
Marlon Mack will have a career injury on the first ball that he touches this year again.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
So, all right, final NFL point. So the NFL and the NFLPA agreed that the salary cap next year is going to go to $208.2 million. So this year it's 182. So restructuring, looking at teams' deals, like, is this good or bad having a bigger salary cap?
Oh, good. I mean, look at the NBA.
Yeah,
The bigger the better. Just throw more money at it.
I think the NFL with their salary cap is stupid. I think they just need to take it off. I mean, either that or just create a second salary cap for your quarterbacks, because it's getting to the point where quarterbacks are just so important to your offense. Like, you need to either extend the salary cap to be able to hold all their
Like
hold their
quarterback
contracts
relief or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just they're too valuable. They're too valuable.
Or readjust the first round pick whole quarterback. I mean, I know Sam Bradford just straight up stole money from the
he
NFL,
did.
but go back to that and you can, load up rookie contracts and deal with it later, throw money at them.
But my thing is, I'm a big fan of the salary cap because you have to do a lot of moving and shaking. If you go to let's say the MLB route and you just go to who's worth more, who can afford more.
I don't think you go all the way there. I think you try and find a hybrid of what the MLB and NBA does. Don't go full, no rules. Whoever spends is just, going to have, the two best positions, at everywhere, but find some sort of hybrid, almost like a luxury tax kind of deal.
That's smart.
And punish teams that go over a certain amount. If they want to pay that and get tagged for $12 million or $20 million, however much they're over, then that's your problem. And the small market teams that don't want to get punished and don't have the money to go over, then you stay within your means and you can still, play with it a little bit. Now, I don't know how you do that. That's for people smarter than I, but
well, and instead of dealing with 18 contracts, you're dealing with 53 contracts. So it's a little bit different. I don't know. It's hard to grasp that concept in the NFL, but they need to do something to account for how important a quarterback is, and their salaries should reflect it anyway.
Yeah. All right, so we move on to Neil's favorite sport, the NHL.
That's right.
If you look back at this past weekend, you had the Canadians beating the Maple Leafs, and the series is tied 3-3.
And they're shitting on them right now.
Yeah, for sure. And then you have the Bruins and the Islanders. Bruins win 5-2, go up in the series. And then yesterday, you had the Lightning and the Hurricanes. You had Lightning taking it 2-1, and then you had the Avalanche just demolishing the Golden
That's right.
Knights. So, Neil, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the NHL weekend, looking at the playoffs going forward?
Well, I'm an Avs fan. I've been an Avs fan since I was 5-6 years old. So, for me, this is 20 years in the making of being the favorites and looking the part of being the favorites. So, yesterday when I was watching the game, I was really excited because one of the problems this year with the playoff system is you're going to have each division played each other 8 times, or played each other. Yeah, I think they played each other 8 times. So you had a total of 56 games, and when you play each other that much, you know what you're getting out of each team, and everybody's going to be chippy. There's going to be just bloodbaths, and you've seen that already with the first round at NHL. I mean, it was just getting really chippy.
It's been a mess.
But to kind of piggyback off that point, Vegas and Colorado have been the best teams in the NHL all year. I mean, they were 1 and 2 all year long, without a doubt, best teams, and they have to play each other in the second round of the playoffs, which sucks because that's something you definitely want to see in like a conference finals type.
NHL's always had that problem with how they seed.
Yeah, and restructure things, and it needs to get changed. But I mean, that's I don't know. With what happened last night, 7-1, and just they were just skating all around Vegas. Vegas looked like they were in sleep mode from Game 7.
They looked like a team that came off a 7-game series.
Yeah, they did.
And interesting. You could, and
I'm going to tell you right now, like. The Avs they're well rested. They swept the Blues. They're going to be energized, and they're going to want to put Vegas away quick. And I think they can. I wouldn't look for it to go past 5 or 6 games, just because I think Colorado's been waiting for this all year long, and the way they played last night that shows what they've been looking forward to.
Yeah. I think a ton of things. It was the perfect storm to be an absolute mess for the Knights. They had gone 7. They go to Colorado. We all atmosphere, all of us playing sports. That had to contribute. You switch goalies after Fleury had been. They both were good, but Fleury gives you 7 games and gets you a win. and now you're going to change, which maybe it's a rest thing. Maybe that was the idea. Maybe you don't want to do it in game 2 if something happens, because then your back's up against the wall and it might look, one way or another to your team. But to go into the Avs and McKinnon and the way he's looked and the way the Avs have looked and what they did to the Blues to change goalies, I didn't understand it. I'm a little bit of a Fleury homer, so maybe that's.
I mean, Fleury's played well all year against the Avs. He's been standing on his head the entire time playing against him, but I don't know. Maybe that's why he gets paid to be the coach, and that's why I'm sitting here just soaking up the wins.
Yeah, at least you get to soak up wins.
Hopefully we continue that.
And then kind of going back, like what we talked on in the NBA with the fan, I wouldn't say problems, but the issues. And, the biggest thing that's happening, I wouldn't say the biggest thing, but the biggest takeaway I saw, it's playoffs. I don't know if you guys saw it, but, the rule that the Tampa Bay Lightning have about not wearing other teams' jerseys into their facilities and sitting in certain seats, it's actually on the tickets and stuff like that, where I saw on TikTok and it blew up yesterday that the Lightning were trying to kick out a man and his 11-year-old because they were wearing Carolina Hurricanes gear.
So I had seen that, and I don't know anything about it, but that's a mess. I mean, what? So
it was a rule implemented because the Lightning couldn't get anybody to come to the games when they were whack. I mean, when they were terrible, they couldn't get anybody. But you win the crown.
Well, that's because no one wants to go see a hockey game when the hockey team sucks and it's June.
That's true.
Well, it's outside.
Nobody wants to go to Tampa Bay and go Tampa Bay of all places and watch.
You're going to Florida, then you're going to Tampa. I don't know.
Maybe to cool off, but
what kind of rule is that? Like, what if you were at an NFL game and you said, hey, let's say you're a New York Jets fan and you're going to, let's say the Raiders is a terrible choice.
Yeah.
You should.
No. I think I understand this because this was a big issue 3 or 4 years ago, back when the Predators were really good, and they wouldn't allow away fans to go and buy tickets for their home games. So, like, you would have to sneak in through like a mutual friend or something like that. Like, they wouldn't allow you to buy tickets if you were outside like the Nashville limits. So, I think part of that is it keeps your fans in, but it also keeps from there being fights and things like that. And I think it strengthens the crowd. It strengthens the crowd. So,
I think NFL teams in bowl games, they, like each school will get an allotment, for what you can sell, but to ban it entirely is kind of wild.
I think if you get in, you get in, but like, I mean, if I'm Tampa Bay, I want Tampa Bay fans, so I don't blame them for wanting to sell and pack the stadium.
Coming from someone that's never really been close to a favorite team, I tend to follow a lot of players that just connect with me, and I like watching those teams. But I've always
like that Connor McDavid guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not really necessarily a Connor McDavid fan. We just know that he's better than McKinnon.
Oh yeah, his playoff record definitely says that.
I don't give a shit. But
that's great. Hey, it's great if you want to put up stats all year long, and then when it comes to playoff time, you get blown out, and then you're sitting at home drinking Molson.
I've never gone to a stadium and been surrounded by teams wearing the same jersey I was, because I'm not necessarily a Colts fan. Like, when I go to a Colts game, it's to watch probably not the other team, but if I'm wearing a jersey, it probably is the other team. You know what I mean? I'm not a Pacers fan, so if I'm going, I'm in a Luka jersey. Like, I've never, really gone to games and had that same jersey on. So if someone told me that wasn't an option, I would be like, well, then fuck you. I'm not going to the game.
I've spotted this man across the stadium wearing a Cowboys jersey inside Lucas Oil Stadium.
Probably happens. Let's see. In Lucas Oil in the RCA Dome, I've worn, let's see, a Torrey Holt jersey. I've worn a Santana Moss jersey, and a Zeke jersey, probably a Dak jersey. Yeah, I mean, if the Colts play somebody and I have a jersey, considering I have a jersey collection and I don't have – well, that's not true. I have an Austin Collie Super Bowl jersey, so I guess I could wear that.
Is it unconscious in your locker still?
It's actually asleep, yeah.
It's laying face down on the ground.
He grabs his head, and the trainer runs up to him. He's like, grab your knee. They won't let you play if you grab your head. And then he switches it, and his hands are like, it was my knee the whole time. That's why I fell asleep.
Oh, no. I fell asleep. I hurt my knee.
My knee.
All right, so moving on, did either one of you guys get a chance to watch the Man U Chelsea game?
I did not.
Man City.
But I was surprised by the outcome.
Yeah, Man City, not Man U. Sorry.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's as an American that loves, soccer more than about any other American. Chelsea is the squad that, I tend to cheer for because Pulisic's the only one worth a shit that is somewhere that, people will watch and see other than, us Americans, if you will. I mean, he's on a huge market, Chelsea team on the biggest stage. An American had never even been in a semifinal before, let alone a Champions League final. I mean, that's a big deal. That's hope for U.S. soccer fans. Not that their team will be any better, but that at least we can produce players that can be on a stage to be worth a shit. I mean,
which would finally, because every time the U.S. men's the U.S. men's soccer team gets some hype, they go out and just break your heart every single cup.
Their run worse than. Oh God, I don't even know. I would say the Browns, but that's probably not worse.
No,
it's not bad enough. The U.S. Soccer Federation is run so poorly. It's terrible. How do you have all this money, all this talent, all of these universities, and
can't pull anybody?
Shit.
Well, I think there's a difference though between playing, American soccer and European soccer. So, I'm not huge into soccer, but just from working a little bit with kind of some international players on a youth level, the soccer is just in a different level in Europe than it is in America. But I will say this, getting American players over into Europe playing for those teams is big because it develops soccer. You can see them on that world stage, like you were saying, but it also gets them ready for playing against those teams when it comes to World Cup, those CONCACAF or
Well, that's where I would say it's more like they're poor, like it being poorly run. It's more their fault. They could pay anyone to come in and help, whether it's an English club, a German club. You can have management from someone come in, and whether it's talent or some sort of, inner relationship, almost like a farm team, like something like that. Like someone would be able to help. As good as everyone else is at soccer, someone should be able to help point us in the right direction to be one of the best 40 teams in the world. I
would hope. I would hope.
So
I would hope.
Craig says you guys hear Chelsea won the Champions League.
Always. I was texting that man during it because of the one true, American God, Christian Pulisic.
Also, there's so much soccer that's coming up, and I think the American market is not aware of it. But if you're in the card market like we are, you can see how much force is behind soccer right now. Like you have the Cup coming up, you have Euros coming up, which is driving the card prices of soccer through the roof, and people are starting to get invested in soccer again, not just as a monetary standpoint, but also as learning the players, figuring out teams, figuring out people to root for. And it's not just American teams, but, people are really diving into soccer, and we can get more about that once we start jumping into cards. But I think that might be a newer shift. I think the card market is going to help start driving fans to different places where hockey has always been outside of, let's say, the top 4, top 5. I think soccer might move into that section, and I think cards are going to push hockey even more noticeable, which I think is going to help everybody in the long run.
I think you have more opportunity to invest in soccer than you do hockey. In hockey, there's, a couple of names. Those are the ones you want. McKinnon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
McKinnon, sure. Connor McDavid for the regular season, and then pitch him before the playoffs, and then after that. But then like your OV and your Sid, those are
you're
probably your
staples. Add those legends, and you have some young guys, but not a lot of people are going to know them. That's why it's a big deal that, Chelsea, who does have the lone American that stands out, above anybody else, was on a big channel, on a main channel that, just about everybody's going to get. You know what I mean? It wasn't blacked out. He didn't score, but was productive. And
played.
Yeah, now people are going to know, like, oh, shit, that's, during the celebration, they're only American ever, to win a Champions League. And now they're like, oh, shit, he's American? Okay, Chelsea. I'll root for Chelsea, which is, I'd always said, if he made it to a, Premier League team, which is the league that I prefer to watch above anything else, that's where my allegiance went. And I'm sure there's other people that were just like me that had watched the Premier League all their life and were like, oh shit, this guy's American coming in and is a stud. Like, I'll roll with, Pulisic.
Isn't there, I can't speak to everybody just because I don't have the names right in front of me, but isn't there more, and Dylan, you could probably be better at this, but isn't there some more young Americans that are playing for a lot of these other premier club teams?
Yeah, so Borussia Dortmund in Germany has been, that's where Christian came from. They have a couple guys. There's, Real's got a kid.
Yeah,
I believe.
I can't remember his name.
Reyes is rolling. There's hope and there's potential. There's just no one that, stands out yet in that department.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it improves. Hopefully we see something take off.
So let's move ahead. Let's start jumping into the card market. So as people should know by now, we've been in the card market for many years. I think all of us started when we were pretty young, and then there was that kind of gap, and then we got into cards again right when it was starting to pick up. We've made some good money. We've made some, some good investments, some terrible investments. But it's fun to look at the trends. It's fun to see kind of how the market is going. There are some good, and there's definitely some bad going on. But first off, I want the biggest news. Me and Neil were talking, and the biggest takeaway we saw was that the rookie Gretzky OPG card PSA 10 sold for $3.75 million. Neil, you have a PSA what, 4?
5.
PSA 5.
I got a nice PSA 5.
So that 10 going for 3.5 helps you out in the long run. So I want to hear from you, being a card holder. Are you excited about seeing that card on the rise, and what's it going to do for you long term?
Yeah, seeing a record sale is always going to boost the card market as it the trickle down effect from the grades. But I think for like a long term hold, anybody who's investing in sports cards, like there's like the rookie card grails, and it's like, it's having Jordan, it's having Gretzky, it's having Braun, it's having Trout, it's having if you could get your hands on it, a Mantle. If you're really if you have that much money, Tiger Woods, those are the guys that you really want to have in your staples in your collection if you're a true going to be a long time card collector. So it's nice to see that. But it's nice to just collect it, not from a value perspective, like, yes, it's great to see that it's worth something, but at the same time, like, I appreciate having Wayne Gretzky in my collection because I love hockey so much and I want to be able to be a part of that. So for me, like, it's just cool to be able to own a piece of history like that card.
I definitely feel that. I'm probably closer, and I mean, I got into it because of, you two, and probably a year, I don't know exactly how long you guys were, but probably a year later than definitely Neil. Caleb, I don't know exactly when, but mine has always been probably closer to, just the money aspect of it. But since I've been doing it too strictly, just make money, I have acquired cards that, aren't going on anywhere. And like Neil's saying, just to, have that either you're a big fan of or that, meant something to you, player wise when you were a kid or got you into a sport or more into a sport, maybe somebody that changed the game, or on your favorite team. So I now have those cards. I would still say most of it probably is, making money. So I'll be completely honest on that front. And you two know that I tend to flip at the drop of a hat, but that's just my nature.
that's part of the game. I mean, it's a different way of gambling. And, I started out cards because I can remember at my grandmother's house growing up, there was like just a bundle of cards. And that's how I got knowing the game of footballs. I would be able to, look on the back, see the guy's stats, see where he went to college, his height, his weight. Yeah. And that kind of fell me in love with the game. Now, if I can make some money on the side, that's great. I mean, that's awesome. Now, are there, like Neil said, are there certain players or people that I would that I want to collect just to collect? Like, and I got this from Neil, is I go into every year now thinking of, hey, these are my top 3 that I want to get. These are the top 3 cards. Maybe I do sell in the long term. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's something I hang on to. So like this year, the card that I got that I'm really glad that I did at the price that I got it was 1982 Wrestling All-Stars Ric Flair rookie. It was
That's right.
It's a BGS 5, but it's a Ric Flair rookie card. Like, Ric Flair is one of the greatest entertainers of all time, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And to get his rookie card, and that's, to me, that's cool. That's a piece of history for me. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I love that part. And they're different, football players. I wouldn't say if I'm trading, buying and selling, it's more going to be on the basketball side because that's where the money is. Football, I do have some emotional connection to people and players that I've seen play, because I've been to over 300 professional football games, and I've seen the greatest players of all time play. So I do have a connection with some of those guys, and some of those cards I'll never get rid of. But the card market, we saw it during the pandemic skyrocket to scenes we've never seen before. I mean, we can remember when Prism Basketball came out, we were buying it off the shelves like nobody's business. I remember I bought, and I texted Neil about this. I walked into Walmart. This was before all the flippers came in and this and that. Neil goes, well, you got to go to Walmart. You need to buy all this Prism you can. So I did. I ended up spending like $798. I bought everything that was on the shelves: blasters, megas, cello packs, all Prism Basketball, knowing absolutely nothing about basketball. I'm not a basketball fan.
Damn shame.
And Neil's like, you need to save it. Don't do it. Save it. You know what? I
know exactly. Every single thing.
Because I go full Dylan, and I have no self-control.
Have to rip.
And I rip it all. And you know what? I pulled 0 Zions, but I pulled 2 Ja Morant silvers that I sold for $250 a piece.
Oh my God.
So if I did the math looking back, if I would still have all those blasters, megas, and cellos, I would probably have close to 40 grand in product, maybe more.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the first thing I bought online was already, I mean, secondary, but again, before obnoxious levels. And I think I bought, so it was Luka's rookie year, and I think it was what, a mega for like $200 maybe or something like that. And then pulled not only a Luka base, but a Luka auto out of that.
A Luka
And-
Silver
The
auto.
Lucas Silver auto.
Yeah, and it only took off from there. But it's like what that box goes for now. What, 3,000?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah,
mean-
you remember this right when that Prism came out. I bought right before all the Prism came out for Zion and Ja. I think I showed you this, Caleb. I had bought 10 boxes, retail boxes of 2018, 2019 Prism, and I bought them for $140 a box. Now, can anybody go find how much a box of 18-19 Prism is? Retail? Does anybody?
Retail box.
Yeah, on like eBay.
I'd say off the top of my head is probably $1,500.
Yeah, I know they were riding close to $2,000. Yeah, so that was like $20,000.
Yeah, because I remember,
and I bought them for $140.
Well, you
a
kept
box
trying to get
at
me to
like-
buy boxes off you. I was like, man, that's too
Yeah.
too much. I couldn't do it. And then I'm going over to Ryan's card shop by your house and buying those same boxes. I bought 2 boxes for $600.
Yeah.
So
Fucking ace.
but right now, like if you look at it, and people are kind of freaking out, and it's for us who have been in it a while, there's no reason to freak out, but you can see in the card market is kind of lulling. So the prices are not skyrocketing. They're kind of leveling off. Now, I think that's because of kind of the season that we're in currently, that we're not just, there's no NFL. NFL's coming on strong. NBA playoffs, you don't really get hyped until the finals. NHL, not really. And then baseball, no one cares until the World Series. So
Yeah, there's 162 games, and
Yeah.
the last 40 are the only four.
Yeah.
Well, I say 40, but it might really only be the last 20 games that
You
actually
got to pump
matter in
out
baseball.
115 games for me to really start watching, because every game doesn't matter. I mean, every other sport. I mean, the NBA, yeah, with all the time off and the rest and all that crap, like you can miss some games, and you're all right not watching games in the NBA for a while, but you're still, by the time the All-Star break rolls around, you're 100% into it. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. But and especially looking at cards, like NFL, you have 16 weeks of your card going up or down, depending on how he plays. Basketball, you're looking, like Dylan said, you're looking at the All-Star break, right before the All-Star break to the end of the season. Playoffs, that's when your cards get hot. Baseball, you never know. Baseball is so hit and miss that you're either should buy vintage or you're investing in prospects that you hope pan out in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or they
Players
get called
will do
up
it.
to play
Yeah.
halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Like Wander Franco, I think I've heard rumblings about him potentially coming up, but I mean, that's me, and I hate baseball. So like, I know one person, and that's about the extent of my knowledge.
Jason Dominguez.
Yeah,
It's like
Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, during the shutdown.
For the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Why during the shutdown did I know all about Jason Dominguez, Galvin Lux, Bobby Witt Jr.? Everybody's chasing
Boba
these guys,
Fett.
and I've never
Kyle
heard.
Lewis,
Yeah.
fucking Lewis Robert.
But there's
Yeah.
so many players in baseball that you can't keep up. That's why
No.
that market is just trash to me.
And that's why I think they all level off, unless you're a Trout and you come in your first year and you're the best player in baseball, and then you do it again. I mean, yeah, you get to an all-star level, but so do the other 2 guys, and that's it. And then you're not into the next year, or you're not the second half of the year.
And I think hockey's the same way. There's just too many players that you can invest into that are going to be really stagnant. You got to pick the best guys to get into, the Crosbys, the Ovechkins, the Connor McDavids. Now you can hit, here or there with some goats, or maybe some guys who are going to be future Hall of Famers, but it's not like the NFL or NBA where it's a daily stock market on cards.
No.
Well, and the money's not there, and the popularity. I mean, obviously, or at least NHL wise. I mean, NBA is obviously as popular or more popular worldwide easily than
That reminds me,
the NFL.
NBA with their TNT contracts, they need to throw those things away because like I don't have cable in the house. We've had cable, but like it just like I can watch ESPN, I can watch NBC Sports Network, I can watch all the local channels. I don't need to watch
TNT. You get the greatest.
TNT is like okay. Yeah, the greatest. I'll give you that. But at the
as
same
long as
time,
they come with it, I don't
guys,
care where Shaq and them go, but they got to come with it.
Yeah, like move those guys over to ESPN, and that like the ratings are going to go through the roof because nobody. I don't know. I'm like, dude, just get off TNT. That's the one thing. Like, move them to ESPN.
Become like a default, almost like brand for them.
If NHL is going to ESPN, basketball can go to ESPN.
Yeah. And they do, but only if you're the Lakers,
Well, that's the only team that matters, so.
The LA LeBrons.
That's right.
So looking at kind of the market is right now, and then, Neil, I'll start with you with this question. What are you buying? And let's put our target date as for the National. So the National Sports Card Convention in Chicago, end of July. So what are you trying to buy? If you are, what are you looking to buy before the National?
Well, if I had money that I haven't already spent yet, then I would put it into soccer. Mostly because if you've looked at what the soccer market has done over the past, what's going on 6 months, it's just steadily gone up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And yes, you have some people when they lose, they dip. Like Mbappe dipped after he lost in the Champions League. Holland, same thing, dips after he lost the Champions League. But you still have Pulisic, you have Mason Mount, you have these other guys who are playing for Chelsea and Man City that are continuing to go up in value, and they've gone up in value since the beginning of last year. And I think the soccer market is the one market that's not shown that it has rode the wave of the sports card market, if that makes sense. Like it's not gone through its huge dip. It's continually just kept going, but at a slower, steadier pace. And I think that's a good sign because it's showing stable growth and some leveling off in some places. And once like the Euro comes, once the World Cup comes, those markets are going to take off. Like soccer is going to take off. This summer is going to be super hot for soccer. I enjoy watching the Euros, even if I don't know all the players, even if I just enjoy watching international championship soccer, World Cup, Cup soccer, Euro soccer. It's just good. It's a good summer sport to watch.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's soccer. It would be my investment, but at the same time, the market's down. So like me, if I wanted to trade for more soccer, that's what I would probably be doing. I'm not really buying more soccer per se. I'm actually spending more money in my personal collection right now and upgrading that, and just kind of using what I have left and some other spare inventory to upgrade my personal collection. But I guess my take would be soccer. But
yeah, Dylan.
Again, it's I don't want to sound like I'm an influencer because I'm definitely not, and that's not the point of this show. But personally, for me, it's soccer.
Yeah, Dylan, what are you buying? Or if you had money, what would you be buying?
I mean, I mentioned it previously a couple of days ago, but Sam Darnold. I mean, come on.
Oh God, bless.
Sam Darnold. For what Baker did last year and what his stuff did, it kind of had like a resurgence. You can get 2 Sam Darnold, PSA 10s for one price of a Baker right now. And I'm in on that. Bounce back. And Patrick Mahomes is still undervalued to me. So I would get on that before he has maybe an even bigger year.
Is it Patrick Mahomes that's undervalued? Or
you don't
is
think
it
so?
Brady that's undervalued?
Oh, I would say both. But if I'm going to get in on the, closer to the ground floor, that the Brady ship has sailed for this guy unless.
What do you mean? They're like 17, 16 grand for a PSA 10. And I think Mahomes is trending at like 10 or 11. So you're telling me Brady's only worth like 1.5 times the Mahomes?
No, I'm saying they both are, but again, you're doubling, 17,000 to 10,000. I can much more, easily spend 10 than I can 17.
I guess that's true.
So if you're looking at the national, like, and we were having this conversation the other day, I think the biggest play going into the national is obviously going to be football because of camp going to start soon.
Timing.
And the quarterback market, everybody knows that, hey, if I'm getting football cards, I have to hit a quarterback. I have to hit a Tua, a Justin Herbert, a Jalen Hurts. That's going to make your money. I mean, you see Herbert Raws of, let's say, National Treasures or Panini One selling for like $5,000 right now. I'm thinking by the time we get to nationals, everything on Justin Herbert's side might double or triple. Tua is going to be the second tier guy, and Jalen Hurts is going to be kind of mid to low tier. So if you feel, if you're a believer in Jalen Hurts, which not a lot of people are, he might be the buy if you're looking at this rookie class.
To me, it's Burrow. I mean, I think Burrow's better than Herbert. I think he'll have a better year than Herbert. And I think, Neil, we agreed to a bet. We don't know what it, or no, that was me and Caleb, maybe.
I didn't agree to a bet on.
I think it was Caleb. We talked about it. Wasn't that you?
On
Herbert
year?
Burrow. Better year.
I don't know if it was or us.
I think Herbert's going to have a better year than Burrow.
I mean, I'll take that bet right now. I think Herbert will have a better year than Burrow because
Burrow has to play against 3 top 10 defenses in the NFL,
and he still doesn't have an offensive line.
Yeah, they gave him what one scrub-a-dub in the second round.
Yeah, but let me see the Steelers defense do what they did last year, even close to that again.
Let me see what the Browns defense does.
Browns are trash. Never a Browns believer.
Oh my goodness!
The Browns will be the Browns.
Whoa.
That's a top 10 defense next year.
You're gonna believe in Joe Burrow, but you're not gonna believe in the Browns right now.
That's correct.
Oh Joe Burrow's gonna be lucky if he doesn't tear his other ACL next year.
Wait, do you want me to go get my other like LSU stuff too, and then maybe it'll explain it? No.
Hot take nation over here. All right, so looking at give me 2 cards, Neil, a long-term hold and a short-term flip.
What's short term? Like how long?
Let's say short term is 6 months. Let's say long term is a year.
6 months. I'm buying Mbappe 100 times over. I'm buying Mbappe for short term to flip when France wins the Euro this year because they're better than everybody. And for a long term hold, I'm holding Braun. Braun is the greatest investment right now. I don't care what happens at the playoffs this year. It doesn't matter. Braun is the greatest investment from a basketball perspective for the next 20 years because he will always be relevant and he's going to have all the records.
But which
minus
Braun?
6 championships.
Which Braun? Does it have to be a rookie Braun or can
rookie
it
Braun?
be?
Rookie Braun. Rookie Braun. I think what's going to play out is numbered rookies. Okay, so numbered rookie Brauns, or you get a rookie auto, and those are going to be the cards that will hold and gain steady long-term value. The other ones are going to kind of go and fizzle with how the market shifts and things like that. But if you want something that's going to consistently hold value, it's not going to go down a lot. It's just going to steadily go up and up and up and up. It's Braun rookie numbered or Braun rookie autos. Personally, I have 2 Braun rookie autos. So
anytime you have an icon of the game currently playing, and again, Neil knows I'm not a LeBron guy. That's not going to stop me from investing in LeBron. You have maybe the best player currently playing, then invest in that. I don't see that change. That's not going to change anytime soon. Some flips. I mean, I still think Kai Havertz is probably a long-term hold for me. But I would say any rookie quarterback that you think would have a chance to string together 6 weeks of, what Herbert did last year, you're going to make money. I mean, so if you're not trying to grade and you are just trying to flip, then rookie quarterback.
Do you really think the quarterback market though can get any hotter? Because I feel like it didn't dip like it would in the normal cycles of the market. It just didn't dip this year. So
I
like
think this
with that
year,
said, like you can't go that much higher.
I think this year with some of the names, you'll always. I mean, Lawrence. I think Lawrence could change the game on. Oh God!
We lost him.
his phone or his laptop just died,
or he got a phone call. So if you got a phone call, I should have told you guys before that. Then
so I put it on my laptop so I could check scores and stuff online.
If it goes to if you get a phone call, because I've done this on a live interview for racing, it goes right to.
Am I back?
Yeah, he's back.
I don't know what happened.
Was that your Are you on your laptop?
No, I'm actually on my iPhone.
Okay. Did you get a phone call?
Huh?
Did you get a phone call?
No.
There's a Pornhub notification.
Oh, because
I
was telling Dylan, because I've done this on some drag racing interviews. If you don't put it on Do Not Disturb and you get a phone call, it'll do the same thing and it'll boot you off.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, anime porn finally finished downloading. So
yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So rookie card market, I'm going to say that it's still going to continue to grow. Last year's rookies are still going to grow heading into the Nationals. Now you're going to bring in this year's rookie class. I don't see the sophomore year for last year's guys being hot at all, but I still think this year's rookie class, the Trevor Lawrences, these guys, I still think that they're going to get some money out of their cards pretty high.
Yeah, I think the rookie, a Prism Lawrence auto is gonna be what? I would say 30% more than Herbert, 20% more than Herbert. We just haven't seen anything like Lawrence.
Lawrence is the Zion of football.
I'm going off of the hype and how big that everyone, not necessarily myself, thinks, but we've heard about him for 3 years, 4 years. You know what I mean?
We heard about him in high school.
Yeah. So an obnoxious long time. And then not only did he not get hurt, he didn't go away. He kept winning. So yeah, you're in the football Zion territory of my cards are going to be obnoxious. Or already are.
But
those score autos are out of control.
I thought I saw, and I don't know if this is true. I thought he had thought it was like LeBron. I thought he had an exclusive deal with another company that wasn't
Tops.
Was it
Tops?
So does that mean there won't be any Trevor Lawrence autos in Prism and
that I don't know,
and National Treasures, et cetera, et cetera? Because if that changes the game a lot.
And if that's the case, then why aren't those, Tops boxes, even if he's in college unis, going for that much more?
When did he sign his contract with Tops?
I think that was before the draft.
6 months ago? Yeah.
Because
that's when his family got together with those artists and pumped out that Tops idea. I don't think that was a one-time deal. I think that was,
and those boxes are
you sure it wasn't a one-time deal?
I didn't think they were, but I
just can't.
Card-wise, I default to you two.
I don't know. I don't know the contracts between them, but I don't know why he would take a Tops contract over Panini.
Money.
But yeah, like Caleb's saying, those boxes are $160.
Yeah, they're $160.
I'll do that if that's what it's going to be. Even in college jerseys or no jerseys at all, he's laying on a couch with his fucking feet up. You know what I mean? Like some of those cards are goofy.
Oh, for sure.
Some of them look okay.
I think
they're like a retro flopped a little bit, and they don't look great.
They're trash.
I think the boxes look better than any cards I've seen out of them. So if you're going to keep them sealed.
But if that changes the game and we're saying that there's going to be no Trevor Lawrence, National Treasures, impeccable.
There's no way. There's no way.
I don't know.
There's got to be something. Maybe it was a short deal or his first deal.
Panini will buy out his contract, pay the lawsuit fees, and then sign him to $100 million over the next 10 years, and it won't even be an issue.
But if
anymore.
that's the case, then how come they haven't done that with LeBron?
Because Upper Deck owns LeBron since he's came into the league, and then at that time, Topps and Upper Deck there was no Panini then. So,
but you don't think Panini couldn't still buy out that contract?
No. Well, LeBron has. Don't quote me on this, but I don't think LeBron signed autos of him in his Cavs jersey since 2009, 2008. So, I mean, he just doesn't sign anymore. He signs a couple of cards for the Upper Deck Goodwin champions, but other than that, he doesn't sign anything.
So what would your price be? Oh God, that Goodwin product is so trash.
It's trash.
So trash. I hate
Are you kidding me? You can get surfer autos out of that, man. Come on.
all kinds. The egg PSA is over $500. I saw that on
crypto. I mean, the fucking Bitcoin.
The Bitcoin was over 1,000. I don't get it. So
it's the market is so stupid. Everybody's just buying stupid things.
First year LeBron Laker National Treasures patch auto. Give me a price. What do you think it would go for?
Is it numbered?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all 99 to start.
Okay, so we're saying of 99.
Let's say
just a patch auto.
Patch auto.
Is it a letter?
Well,
it'll be a player.
It'll be a player worn auto, a player worn jersey piece. So it'll be crap anyway. So
give you a triple patch.
3,500.
3,500?
Yeah, try 35,000.
If it's 3,500, I'm shelling out that money right now.
Yeah, I'll buy 10 of those for 3,500. Yeah, no, it's probably 30, 50 grand. It's probably as much as an RPA. People would pay that for Braun for a out of 99 3-color patch. They'd pay that.
Well, what was yours, Neil? I was thinking closer to the one that you sold value-wise. Wasn't that a first-year Lakers or no?
What?
Didn't you have a patch that you just got rid of?
Yeah,
I had a dual patch from 2016. It was a dual patch out of 23.
Okay, we're talking autos.
I'm talking
the autos.
Oh, well, my bad. That's what
patch
auto. I was like, Neil's was, a badass patch, and it wasn't that much. That's why I went high.
No.
I was gonna say because
autos.
Well,
I'd buy any goddamn LeBron auto for $3K.
Oh, for sure.
I don't even have one of those yet, man.
I don't even know if you can get a LeBron auto for $3K anymore.
No.
No.
Not unless you caught him on the street and paid him $3K.
No, you can get some sticker auto
and just hang out front and try to get it.
You could get him to sign a dollar bill walking by him, maybe.
He wouldn't sign that.
Fuck yeah, he would.
Oh,
no, he doesn't sign anything anymore.
All right, Neil, what is your PC?
Oh, okay.
Let them
Braun.
know what your PC is.
It's Braun. I have two guys I collected in PC, and then one I kind of did a little bit. So first guy is Braun. I mean, basketball, I've loved LeBron since I was, 5-6 years old. Well, let's see how I'd be 9 years old. That's when I first started buying packs, and I had some
you are
Braun
the way
rookie
you are.
cards. Yeah, you know what? It's 2021. I can be what I want. I identify as a Braun lover. What can I say? So it's PC,
fucking
for
shows, man. No, I'm just kidding.
For basketball, it's Braun, and then for football, I do Aaron Donald. So these I just picked up today. 3 contenders rookie autos, and then I got a couple more from.
You guys are much more prepared. I didn't have anything. I'm just hanging out in the living room.
Yeah. So,
not in my card zone at all.
Huge Aaron Donald fan, 3 times Defensive Player of the Year. Fat guys got to love fat guys. So I enjoy collecting that.
So while we're on Aaron Donald, where all-time defensive player, when he's done, where's he rank? 2?
It's going to be number 1. He wins one more defensive player. He wins one more Defensive Player of the Year to have the most Defensive Player of the Years all time.
All right,
Dylan.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean,
Dylan, what's your PC for everybody?
So Reggie Bush, Tyrann Mathieu, and Sidney Crosby. A little bit of Danny Green. A little bit of Danny Green.
Reggie Bush, really?
I love me some Reggie Bush.
Reggie
man.
Bush.
Sidney Crosby?
Yeah,
You knew that.
he's a big Sidney Crosby honk.
Oh my
Bro, you
god.
knew
That guy whines more than any. He might
Bro, that's what every
he
Sidney
cries-
Crosby that has nothing else to say. They're just like, oh, he whines.
he cries.
No other hockey player
he
whines.
cries and plays zero defense worse than LeBron.
He
And
is
I love
one
LeBron.
of the best two-way players in the game, bro.
No, not
Yes.
He's better than he used to be, but he used to be terrible. He used
He
to
is
play
a
zero
top
defense.
10 two-way player in the league.
So I'm curious.
He
on
might
the
get top 10, but I think Sid's he's a whiner, and
Every
I hated him.
non-Penguin player is.
Sidney Crosby reminds me of Kevin Durant. That's what he
How
reminds
dare
me
you?
of.
Sidney Crosby should remind you of someone you are very fond of.
No.
How dare you?
No.
So Dylan, on Reggie Bush, is it Reggie Bush USC
Got to
or
be USC. Yeah.
USC, not the Saints?
No, I mean simply because Reggie Bush, when I'd say a kid, but I mean college football I enjoy more than the NFL. You know that. I think Neil may know that, but I mean that's always had a bigger influence on me as far as where my favorite teams come from, where I buy jersey. You know what I mean? Like you tend to grow up with them and follow their careers. I mean, I have Crabtree stuff sitting in the closet because I loved fucking Michael Crabtree. I mean, I love the college football game a lot more. So what Reggie Bush did in college, and you're a kid watching somebody do what you did on, Madden, which is run to one side of the field and then turn around, run backwards 20 yards and, run to the other side of the field and score. That's not,
Reggie was insane. Watching that guy, watching his highlights,
unbelievable.
I used to watch it over and over again.
I can still remember where I was when he scored on Sam Houston. That team was killing everybody. They're down against, Sam Houston State, and he flips a switch and, turns it on. You know what I mean? And takes over the game.
What was that one? He ran down against Fresno State. He ran down the sidelines.
Yeah, okay,
and then,
Fresno State, there you go.
Stopped on a dime and cut across the field.
Threw the dude across his face.
I think half the team fell on the ground, and he just waltzed into the end zone.
Yeah, and
he
then
was electric.
Tyrann Mathieu is, Reggie Bush on defense, a guy that you'd watch a college football game and LSU could be down 7 and they're going to punt it. And you're like, well, he's not going to house it. Like, how much can a defensive player change the game? Then you punt it to him and he houses it. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like, well, sir, he's, it's crunch time for LSU. He can't just pick off a pass and give him a chance to win. And then he takes one to the house and you're like, what the hell am I watching? He was calling his own plays, on defense. You don't see it a lot in the NCAA. And those two stick out. Hell, I had, his jersey that I've had for 10 years. You know what I mean? I got an LSU jersey that's older than anything else that I own,
Hey, that guy, as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers. That's all I got to say.
Cool. But he had to give his Heisman Trophy back where OJ got to keep his.
Which is pretty unbelievable.
It is. So my PC would be, obviously, as I said earlier, is Ric Flair. So I got a couple Ric Flair rookies, a couple early Ric Flairs, and then my favorite is not even graded, but Muhammad Ali. I got a nice Muhammad Ali auto. This was
That one's sweet.
So
if you can read it.
I sent this to PSA and they sent it back not graded, so I might send this to BGS. I have a lot.
Would SGC be able to? Because they're in the vintage market.
I don't know. This is
vintage space.
Vintage because this is from 2010 and from.
What did they say when they sent it back? What was the note?
I have the thing somewhere around here.
Sorry, we're too busy being a bunch of cucks. Don't have time.
No, but it was something that they couldn't find. They couldn't find it on the list, or it wasn't.
Sorry, heads up, asses. Try again later.
They did the same thing with Tucker.
Let me take your $300 and give you a zero. And let me give you an altered.
Sorry, I had the grade 40 CD Lamb 9s before I could get to that Muhammad Ali.
But they did the same thing. I had a bunch of so my other two PCs are Tucker Barnhart, obviously catcher for the Reds, who we went to school with.
Yep.
And then Chris Jones, former NFL player who we went to school with. So I have, let's see, with Chris, I have probably 50 of his base autograph cards. I have the out of 99. I have the out of 75, the 50, the 25, the 10, the 5, the 2, and the 101. So I have basically all of Chris's cards. And then for Tucker, I have 5 101s and then 2 national treasures and like 5 rookie autos. And then
any 101s that you have that aren't signed, you're crazy if you don't send those to him.
Oh, so that's why I hold them. So like all of Chris's stuff, I told Chris, I said, hey, when Maverick and your other son, when they grow up and they want your cards, you can have them. Like I have these for you. Same thing with Tucker. You know, when Tucker's son grows up and he starts, my dad was a baseball player, get some baseball cards, I'll give the cards to Tucker.
Kid already is swinging the bat.
Oh, the kid swings hammers.
Just mashing plastic balls in the backyard.
Yeah.
I can't even get my kid to grab a golf club right now. But he's only 4. Okay, in his defense, he's 4 months old.
Your
But,
kid
I
is
mean, there's no
basically-
excuse right
Tell him
now.
to pick it up, Neil. I mean, if
That's what I try
house,
to do. He just screams and cries. I don't
Your
understand.
kid is basically a football that breathes.
he's going to stay in the house and not pay rent. He can.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna stay and scream and cry and eat food, you got to at least contribute. Like, go at least putt the ball or something.
So I have a bunch of Gordon Hayward stuff.
That's what I wanted to say. Is I was looking at trying to get some of that because, I mean, Gordon was probably the best player to come from our high school. Maybe Drew Storen, Lance Lynn, but
most.
So Lance probably has the most. Well, outside of a Super Bowl, Lance doesn't have a World Series. I mean, so there's one person that has a major championship. And that's Chris.
Yeah, that's true. Chris does. But like Gordon
being on the field for it is pretty incredible. The
Tucker's got Golden Gloves, so
you got and that's a Hall of Fame kind of resume. I mean, if you're in baseball, I mean, Gold Gloves. If you're a catcher, that's how you get.
But baseball is so terrible. They're the way they do their Hall of Fame is so awful. Tucker could go on to be the next like Babe Ruth, but because he came from Brownsburg, they'd be like, well, we don't allow people from Indiana to be in the Hall of Fame. So like that's how baseball is. It's so dumb.
I mean, I agree with you on the Gordon stuff, maybe getting into it because he's a hometown guy, but Gordon was a year older than I was, and we weren't, we didn't really talk, but like, me, Dylan, and Tucker were super close. We were big friends. I mean, I can always remember us going to the baseball games and Dylan basically almost getting us thrown out each and every game for his heckling.
We're just lucky that we had parents that are the prototypical, like, insane baseball parents that were just born in Indiana that had our backs because they were just as sketchy as we were.
100%.
It just wasn't Little League. It was high school. So,
100%. Right.
I mean, I still have Tucker's the first home run of his senior year. I got. Yeah. I mean, he made that deal with me. Was a grand slam against Tri-Weston County.
Yes. Yep.
And somehow that he came through. Like, why I got that when his senior year they walked him 4 times a game, so he didn't have a lot of at bats. and I
walk him too.
Yeah.
So let's finish off. Obviously, our final thing is bets. We all love betting on some sports, no matter what it is. Dylan is our sports betting guru. So, Dylan, I'll start with you on this one. Who are you looking for this week or this month? Whether it could be MLB, it could be playoff basketball, it could be hockey, it could be UFC. Who are you buying into?
So UFC, I wasn't even going to mention, but you say that, and I think Dustin Poirier was still a dog the last that I looked against McGregor, and I love me some McGregor, but give me Dustin all day long at any kind of plus money because
when is that fight?
July.
Yeah.
So when do I sell my Tops Now? The Tops Now McGregor that I got, that double championship?
Sell it right before the fight.
Okay. I'll sell it then.
Yeah,
I bought it. I bought it, and I was like, well, this is kind of cheap compared to what the value. I'll sell it. I'll sell it then.
So
yeah, I mean, any series price on the Avs I would take because I don't see them losing to the Knights at all. Maybe not a game. Like I would say in 5.
Well, did you hear Ryan Reeves? Did you watch the game at all from last night?
Yeah.
Did you see Ryan Reeves got a 2-game suspension?
Yeah, well, he should have. That was, I mean,
yeah, it was dirty.
I would have debated if I'm the Avs coach, like, we'll just leave. Like, you guys want this game? Like, I'm not getting anybody hurt. If the NHL wants to do something about it, like, what's my incentive to put my guys on the ice 6-1, stomping your face in if that's not going to get suspended? You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. No,
and wait till Kadiri or how do you pronounce it? Yeah, wait till he comes back. Then you have another fucking problem to deal with. Like,
I know
he's gone 8 games. Thank your lucky fucking stars that he's not playing. It would have been 12-1.
You're probably right. I
mean, you saw them take their foot off the gas, and it was embarrassing. I mean, I would say I like the Lightning in a series against the Hurricanes. Coming into the playoffs, I like the Hurricanes a lot, but they really haven't taken a jump up to me. Losing 2 games in overtime to the Preds, I mean, you know, they could have won that game or that series a lot quicker. So maybe that's throwing me off a little bit. The Nets, I mean, how do you stop them? I mean,
I like the Celtics against the Nets. Or not Celtics. Sorry. I take it back. The Bucks. I like the Bucks against the Nets. I don't know why. I like the Bucks this year playing against the Nets. I just like what they're doing. I like the way they're playing right now.
I think it could be 7. I think that could go 7.
I hope so.
I like teams at home in that, obviously. I mean, I don't know who will steal from who first. If I had to guess, I could see Brooklyn winning game 1, just shooting lights out, and the Bucks realizing that it's a little bit different monster and, you know, winning the next 2 and getting 1 back. I don't see the Trailblazers beating the Nuggets. I don't know if I'm absolutely insane, but give me the MVP. You know what I mean? At some point, I would think that means something. Donovan Mitchell being back with the Jazz, I would probably bet on them from here on out. I'm not a big Ja Morant guy either. So a guy that's scored 30 points twice in the last 30 games.
I'm so glad Ja scored 43 a couple nights ago. People bought my 2 prisms real quick.
Yeah, if anybody wants a Ja, they could come buy one that me and my brother are selling too, because I don't really want to hold on to this any longer.
Yeah, I mean, his over-under for points tonight, I think, was 26.5. He's scored 30 twice in the last 30 games, over that. So, I mean, to me, it's more hype than it is logic. I tend to follow a lot of the numbers. That doesn't quite make sense to me. As much as I love Luka, I would call myself a Mavs fan. I don't think the Clippers are giving up anymore. I would love to see it. I think it's probably, clip show from here on out. So I would say that 7 points is a lot on Wednesday. If I'm going points, I'm probably taking the Mavs in 7. And, you have to fear a backdoor cover because it could get to as much as they foul late. You can get 12 points in the last 40 seconds, which is rough just from fouling. And then the Lakers, I don't know how the Lakers lost the other day, even with Anthony Davis out.
I think they win. I think they win game 5 and then they win game 6.
I think it was ultra cautious. If I had to guess, I don't know the Anthony Davis. I didn't see an update on it today.
I got the updates. What Woj said was that he's unlikely to play.
Okay.
But I mean,
I think that shows how confident the Lakers are.
Yeah, LeBron's played with less. He's definitely played with less before. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, what their big men have been doing. I mean, Drummond's been great.
Yeah, I think they play Trez a little more and let him kind of beat down on DeAndre.
I think Gasol not playing as little as he does, I think, is ridiculous too. I think he's a much better player than Drummond. But Drummond's had success, and Ayton has as well. So maybe a mix-up of the big men, could change that a little bit. And I'm not betting on the Knicks. The Knicks offense looks like junior varsity. I mean, it looks anemic. I mean, Trae Young is getting bored and shooting from the logo because he knows he can hand the ball to Julius Randle, and he's going to go down there and chuck a fadeaway three because he thinks he's improved that much in a year. And he'll go 0 for 7, and he'll have 7 rebounds at the end of the first. And guess what? He's going to shoot that first shot of the second quarter. He's going to miss.
All right.
And
So
right now, Philly's getting ready to drop the game to Washington. So I think that one finishes up.
Is Washington winning?
Friday. Yeah, they're up 7.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Russell Westbrook started 0 for 6. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
quality.
They want to win at home.
And that's such an NBA thing that you have to watch out for when you are betting. More so when you didn't have to worry about any pandemic or are there fans, aren't there fans limits. When crowds are maxed, the NBA, you 100% have to watch out for that.
Yep.
Because it is real life. Teams will play for the first quarter or two and be like, can we win this game? Can we steal it? And if it's, not in the cards, they're like, all right, we'll
go back home.
I'll sleep in my own bed, and then I'll come back and stomp you out.
All right.
Yep.
We'll finish up bets. I got 3 fights. I want you to pick who you would bet on. So first fight, Dylan, I'll start with you. This is going to be Tyson Fury versus Wilder. Odds currently is Wilder is a 250 dog. Tyson is a 360 favorite.
Holy hell.
Who are you betting on? Where are you taking it?
Wow. I mean, if they were even money, I would have struggled, you know what I mean, and probably gone Fury, but give me the plus 260. Yeah, I mean, I say, units is tend to, how you put into betting terms, and you don't necessarily say dollars. A unit's going to be $100 for what I'm going to bet on a fight. You know what I mean? I'm $100 on that for 360 payout. Yeah, give me the redemption because it's boxing. At the end of the day, boxing is money. They want a third fight more than anything. A third fight means a free $40 million in their back pocket at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boxing's dying a little bit. They probably need the money.
Boxing
You're
is
probably
so-
right on.
So Neil,
It's on the ventilator.
Who are you taking? You going to take Wilder?
I'm going to be honest. I am not that much of a betting person. I will bet 10 cents on the Lakers to win, and that's about as much money as I bet.
He's got a
That's
kid
weird.
now, Caleb. He can't be gambling with money, man.
Yeah, I only gamble with sports cards, not money.
So then I'll answer it too, Dylan. At this moment, if it was 250, 260, and the videos that I'm seeing from Wilder working in his right hand and learning how to box, I'm going to take that money and put it on Wilder getting the job done in the third fight, screwing up the Fury Joshua fight for later that year.
Okay, I'll take $1. I'll bet.
I like
with
Wilder right now because he's gotten back to the roots, learned some boxing. Now, is he a technical boxer like Tyson Fury? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Can he hang in the ring with Fury? Absolutely not. But he has that right hand eraser power that will put you in the dirt like he did in the first fight. If he lands that bomb earlier by a better game plan, that fight is over.
I just have to think at some point in time that Fury slows down. I mean,
He is chunky.
Dude's playing with Father Time. Looks like a guy that you'd meet in a bar and walks out there and ends people and can take a fucking punch. Obviously, we've seen that. But at some point in time, I just got to think that if he gets tagged, now maybe, Wilder doesn't walk out with all this heavy costume that he did the first time and, gets tired carrying around a Spider-Man mask. You know what I mean? that he'll win, But yeah, I got to go with plus money, and I'm probably going to look at per rounds on a finish. Not that I think he's, Fury's lost any toughness, but
Plus
if it's going to end, it's going to be a KO. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If Wilder gets it done, it has to be a KO. He's not going to outbox him.
Yeah.
Okay, second fight we're looking at is not really a fight at all, and I'm not going to ask who's going to win. I want to see how it's going to finish. So I'm talking Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Not a real fight. It's an exhibition.
Out cold.
This is what people don't understand and realize it's a fight. They're selling it as a fight, but it's not. It's an exhibition. So does Floyd get Paul out before the rounds end, or does it go to the quote-unquote scorecards that are not scorecards? Right now, they have, obviously, Floyd is the 1,600 favorite. Logan Paul is plus 700. Now, I'd be looking at trying to find the odds of does he get him out before the fight ends. That I would be able to put some money on. I would prefer to, but it's an exhibition fight, so you're really hard to find someplace. But does Floyd Mayweather toy with Logan Paul like he did Conor McGregor and carry him through the fight until he wants to, or does he end him quickly?
Man, first, I don't think he carried McGregor, but that's a different story.
Oh,
I think the first 3 or 4 rounds were all right. I'm not saying the whole fight.
Conor has enough to box for 3 or 4 rounds, but
that's what I'm saying. In their fight, I think
that's where Mayweather could take over, is because Conor, and he's shown this in UFC. He's not someone who can go past 3 rounds. He's like 3 rounds is it, because he's trying to sleep you in 3 rounds.
So in that sense, he did carry Conor the rest of the way, until the end, until he finishes him. But no, I think that's one of those scenarios where it's like a gentleman's agreement. Like, he's not going to ruin, Sir Duschenheimer's face. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be like, all right,
if I'm Floyd Mayweather, I want to murder that guy, not for just because of how much trash he talks, just being like, he thinks he's a real boxer. And it's just like, he needs to be put in his place.
Though. That's to sell
that's more of his
control, and
he needs to be put in his place, though.
I don't know if he does. Like, I don't know if he will, though. I think I could see them both just taking the payday and doing the boxing sketchiness that is, boxing is just hanging out, throwing some punches, making millions. Like, oh boy, surely, golly, did we try our hardest? You know what I mean?
That's why boxing's on a ventilator right now.
I think I think Floyd carries Paul to the later rounds, and I think with like a round or 2 left, I think he gets him out of there with a body shot.
I hope so.
That's where I think it's going to go. All right, so final fight bet that I'm looking at, and I texted you guys, just announced Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley. Now, Jake Paul legitimately wants to be a boxer. Do I think he has power? Absolutely. Do I think he's fighting guys that are cupcakes? Absolutely. Now, he signed with Showtime to fight. So Showtime, he ain't fighting no Ben Askren. This ain't no thriller card, whatever, with Snoop Dogg.
Which is a shame we don't get 6-hour concert before his Showtime fight.
Oh my God, terrible. So Tyrone Woodley. Now, we ain't wrestling. Tyrone Woodley has put Josh Koscheck in a casket. He's blasted many of people in the face, but he does get knocked out.
They found that button, and once you find that button,
so
it's like Chuck Liddell. Once that glass jaw goes, man,
and that's how it happens.
So right now, you have Jake Paul currently 155 favorite, Tyrone Woodley 125 dog.
That's impressive. So he's minus 155, huh?
He is minus 155 betting favorite. And this is, remember,
God, if you're Tyrone Woodley,
this is not an exhibition fight. This is a professional fight.
How embarrassing is that? You're Tyrone Woodley. A couple years ago, people would have probably said you might have been one of the best in your weight class, and now you're an underdog to a fucking
YouTuber.
Paul brother.
YouTuber who fought a bag of milk and some other YouTubers.
But I mean, I get the odds because I would put the fucking house on Jake Paul.
Why? Yeah, why not?
I mean, I don't. Tyrone Woodley is losing to absolute bums now, and just doesn't show heart.
True.
I mean,
and Woodley's shown in his last few fights. You get him on the ropes, he'll quit.
Yeah, that's his. That used to be his MO, and you've lost the grit and the heart that you did have. Take the payday because your MMA career is over. So yeah, fight me. Take the payday, ride out onto a stretcher in the red lights of the ambulance, and call it a career.
Yeah. So
End up on FS1, making fucking predictions about people who beat your ass.
Exactly. Yeah, his MMA career is obviously over. He's going to make more money than he ever did fighting MMA in this one shot, but at least I can say now that Jake Paul is going to fight a striker.
Yeah, still a better end to your career than going on PFL on ESPN and losing to a minus 800 plus 800 underdog like Pettis did.
Exactly.
And getting just mugged on ESPN on Professional Fighters League.
Or
not getting a paycheck.
Or Eddie and Demetrius go into one and just become halves of themselves. So if you're going to go out instead of making chump change, you're going to put a couple million in your bank.
Do it on a bet of money, just a casket of money.
So, yeah, that's if I'm right now, you probably put the house on Jake, because I'm sure now as we get closer, I'm going to say the odds are going to flip, because he's a real fighter. He's a striker. He's not Ben Askren. Yes, Tyron Woodley is a good wrestler from Missouri, has a wrestling background, but you're going to show that Josh Koscheck highlight over and over and over and over
for sure.
and over. But depending on they're probably going to fight in 10-ounce gloves, 10 or 12-ounce gloves.
Probably not going to show the Usman fight.
They're not. Oh, no. No, probably shouldn't. So. Well, instead of talking about YouTubers, and we're on YouTube anyway, we'll probably get off that subject. We're probably going to get demonetized anyway. So we'll end it for the first episode on that note, talking about YouTube boxing. I'm sure we'll get more into that as it goes on. So for episode number 1 of the Dream 3 podcast, brought to you by Kings of Nitro Clothing, I'm Caleb, Dylan, Neil. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Always put some questions or comments in the post. You might get them read during the show. We'll start working on getting some guests in the sports card world or the sports world in general, or we just might ramble on for an hour and a half each time you see us. We'll try to get it done on Fridays or Mondays or whenever we got the time to do it. But let us know. We'll get it done for you. So until the next time.
Go download Book It Sports.
1 second. Make sure you send Q&As to us. Send us some questions. Helps us with content and things. And allows us to create a better show for you guys. Yeah, send us questions.
And if you're on Instagram, follow us. Showtime Sports Cards. Doughboy Sports Cards 1. Dylan doesn't have an Instagram. He needs.
No, I probably with setting up and going full force bet wise, I probably need to. But until then, Book It Sports, download it, follow Alphabets.
You can find me and Neil on Twitter also. So until then, guys, we will catch you on the next broadcast.